sound.
Wait a minute. How about now? Let's see what happens. Dave was laughing so hard, Dave forgot to hit the unmute button. That would be my fault. You guys should be able to hear Sam right now.
We have sound. All right. So let's replay it. If you go back to your cackling and crying. Welcome in, everyone. Penguin 678, Caden, welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, my God, dude. That was friggin' hilarious. So welcome in, everybody. And the reason Dave was broken when you came on was something that was not that funny just hit me the wrong way, and I died backstage just crying, laughing. I couldn't get the show to come on. I only produce shows like 4 times a day. I only do this every day, and I could not get the show to come on. I couldn't remember what to do. And I was broken, and it was just really funny to me. And welcome to Evenstrength, everybody. I am the bear sharp. I'm something with a bear. I found a bear in the woods, and this is the natural Sam, and we're here to talk some hockey. Jeez, this is going to be long.
See, all the people out there who thought streaming was just a matter of taking one of those red birds that bob back and forth and push the buttons, it's not that easy. Sometimes you knock the bird and they push the wrong button.
Well, what most people are not aware of is I run 3 programs to make this show run. So it's you're in on 2 different channels. I come in on 2 different things and broadcast to 2 networks. So every now and then there's a little technical hiccup, and I experienced it backstage and just started crying, laughing. Anyway.
So what you're saying is it's like taking your 4th line and starting them versus McDavid, Matthews, and Gretzky.
It's like taking my 4th line of my AHL team. It's freaking ridiculous.
Well,
anyway,
welcome to hockey in August.
So apparently there's not a lot of hockey in August. Thank God Bernie's here to save us. But yeah, I mean, I was going to start throwing things at you like, so did you hear what the Charlestown Chiefs did this week? Just to kind of throw you off a little bit. As a good laugh, the other thing that I'm doing is my wife was nice enough to stream Harmonious. So I'm sitting here watching fireworks on my phone as she's doing that. So that should tell you what kind of week it's been in hockey. What's been going on with you?
Well, man, so much has been going on. Let's start it with this. Who is the biggest potential free agent that didn't sign anywhere?
Wayne Gretzky.
He still has not signed anywhere.
Jaromir Jagr.
He still has not signed anywhere.
I know the answer. It's Jaromir Jagr. He's 51 years old, and he said, hey, I'll play at home. I'm going to go with Tarasenko.
No, not Tarasenko. Number 91 on a white and maroon team. Kind of won a cup. He held up. First name starts with a K.
Not
First
Caperson.
name Nazem.
It's Kadri, but I couldn't think of his name.
Nazem Kadri.
I'm like, I can't think of his name, and I'm like, Kazim. No. I'm like, crap. I know it begins with K.
Kadri, big rumor, he's going to New York.
To the Islanders.
Not the Rangers. Going to be going to the Islanders.
We don't have the cap room.
Well, that's the thing. The Islanders have to shed some cap in order to lock him up. But he's sitting there. It's pretty much a done deal. They're just waiting for them to ship some other players out so Kadri could go in. But it's very interesting. Why on earth do you go from winning the Stanley Cup and you want to go to a winner? And no offense to any Islander fans out there, but why the Islanders? There's so many teams out there that would have been a better fit. I just don't get it.
Well, I think it comes down to what we've talked about in the past with money. It has to just be a money thing, because at the end of the day, there's not a good reason. I mean, again, the Rangers don't have the cap space. We've been battling this all week. All I've been reading about is Rangers this, Rangers that. And it's like, I'm sorry, but the Rangers have expended all that money. I'm confused how some teams can do what they're doing. Hey, there's Dave and Sam. Well, maybe I should get us off of there. Hold on a second. Let's see. This is what I'm talking about, people. I ruin things.
First of all, Road Warriors, that's the greatest comment of the night. Kazim and Robin Hood saving Nottingham from Alan Rickman.
Oh, no.
Oh, I love it. That's what this show is all about. Thank you, Road Warriors, for
that. The problem is, like, I look at teams like Tampa. Tampa's a great example. They are masterful at working the cap. And, I mean, don't get me wrong, they lost some this year. They gained some others back. Do I think they're as good as they were the past year? No. But they brought in it's another K word. Crap.
that starts with a C.
No, not in my world. Not in Russia. Russia crap starts with a K.
Congrats off.
No, he's at the Rangers, and that's a different kind of crap. He was on Colorado. Why can't I think of his name? Anyway, who cares? It's off season. It doesn't matter. And but the bottom line is we couldn't bring in Kadri. You know, we wanted to. When I looked at the way our cap was set up and the rumors that he was coming, I'm like, there's no way. We would have had to get rid of like half our team. And half of our team has a no trade clause until like 27. So,
well, in the Islanders, I mean, they're estimated to have about 11 or so in cap space. So they could do something. They'll probably have to move one or two people. But when you look who they have, okay, Matt Barzal, good talent. He's got a year left, and then he's in RFA. Andres League, you know, decent talent. Nelson Bailey, they're okay. JPG and Jean-Gabriel Pajot, decent. Palmieri, you know. They don't have, other than Matt Barzal, no real superstars there. So I get it. Kadri goes in. He becomes instantly the superstar of this team. But can he do it without the cast of characters he had on Colorado? Is he going to be the same player? I don't think so.
I'm going to say no. You know, and it should be very telling because Tavares, now Kadri, you know, like you've had this list of people that have come and gone. Yeah, they have the cap space. Why? Because they don't have anybody. And they have a lot of burnt up cap space. As Bernie put, there's only 8 teams that have more than 8 million in cap space. Out of 32 teams, that to me sounds like that would be an issue. And you know, to me, I think that's a glaring problem for them moving forward. Is in the league, there's a cap situation. We haven't had the cap go up, and with COVID, what happened was the projections changed, and it was not capable of holding. You know, like they expected projections to go up. We should be around 90 million, but we're at 83, and that's just a huge issue.
Yeah. The other big thing, did you hear all the panic that's going on in Edmonton right now?
With what?
Edmonton. So about a week or so ago, McDavid was in Toronto working out and skating at the Leafs practice facility with Jason Spezza. And Edmonton is freaking out about the potential of McDavid leaving the Oilers to come to Toronto. So Edmonton's just going and bringing the Maple Leafs to Edmonton, signing all the ex-Maple Leaf players.
Wow, that'd be huge. That would, like, is there any basis to it?
No, the Oilers are all ex-Leafs. You got Hyman over there, the Maple Leafs goalie's going over there.
I was like, wait a second. The only reason that I'm like kind of half freaking out is my wife dropped her stream, so I'm like trying to I'm trying to troubleshoot 2 things at once. So when you said that, I'm like, oh my God, are they really that stupid?
I was trying to make a joke. Clearly it didn't go over well.
We went from 142 people sitting on our chat to 112. My wife's not on camera right now, and it's in the middle of Harmonious. So I'm kind of like, oh crap.
Nice.
This is the problem of having 2 shows going on at the same time.
All right. So let me run through here. Well, you're looking at that. I'm going to go through all the picks since we've kind of been away and talk about them. EC3 in the house. Hello, sir. Welcome in. So here we go. I don't know where we left off, but Jesse Puljujarvi, he signed a 1-year extension. He's going to stay in Edmonton. That's a nice pickup. He played well. Some of the other notable signings, Ryan Donato, he kind of signed with the Kraken for 1 year. Kraken is doing a nice job. Danton Heinen, he's going to sign in Pittsburgh. Ethan Bear, he's going to re-sign. He was a restricted free agent, 1 year in Carolina. Then I know you're excited. Capo Caco, he's going to stay with the Rangers 2 years at just over $2 million a year. Mathieu Joseph, restricted free agent, re-signs with the Senators 4 years for just under 12 mil, so 2.95 a year. Good for him. Owen Tippett, he's going to sign with the Flyers, stay in Philadelphia 2 years, 1.5 a year. So nice little pickup there. Hello, Charlie. And then one of the big ones, one of the big signings, we call it a major signing, defenseman John Klingberg. He was one of the free agents. We weren't sure where he was going to end up. Klingberg signs with the Anaheim Ducks of Mighty. He's going to go there 1 year, $7 million. So a nice little payday for Klingberg. And we got Brett Harrison signs in Boston. Let's keep scrolling here. Tice Thompson, restricted free agent, resigns with the Devils. And Zach McEwen signs with the Flyers. And then another big one. This was a major one for the Calgary Flames. Calgary hurting big time. UNC, Panther Sports, welcome in. Hope you're doing well. One of the big signings for Calgary. Now, they lost to Chuck. They lost Johnny Gaudreau. They are not going to lose Andrew Mangiapane. He's going to sign a 3-year extension, $5.8 million. That's a total of 17.4. So good little pickup for him at the age of 26. He had a great year last year with 35 goals, 20 assists for 55 points. So he's going to stick around. And thank goodness, because Calgary needs somebody to play with Huber Duber Duber Doo.
Huberdeau, who, by the way, is super pissed.
Yes, super pissed. Huberdeau not all that pleased. The Flames GM actually flew out to Montreal and had a little sit-down dinner with Huberdeau, Jonathan Huberdeau, to kind of get to know you, maybe a little speed dating going on there as they're getting to know each other. Calgary desperate to sign him up. They gave away, Florida gave away a lot to sign to Chuck, and Chuck signed a monster deal there.
Yeah, he did.
So Calgary looking to do the same.
You know what's ironic about him signing that monster deal is he was due for arbitration.
Yeah.
Like, how ironic is it? They were like, oh, cool. We not only got out of arbitration deal, but he just signed a monster contract. We got back a pissed off player who doesn't want to play for us. Yay. So let me ask you a stupid question. Speaking of Huber Doobie Doobie Doe.
Sure.
Any chance he's traded before the season starts?
Ooh, could you imagine? Wow. I didn't even think of the
He's pissed, dude. He's not even like a little pissed. He's like monster league pissed.
Yeah, man, wouldn't that be something?
Because
even if they go through the year and he gets traded before the trade deadline to go to a real contender, I mean, listen, it's a big contract to move, and because of what you gave up to get him. If you're going to trade him, you got to get a lot back. So
I'm thinking Arizona. Sorry.
You really want to tick the guy off? You send him to the desert.
But I mean, hold on a second. We got is that one on your channel or mine?
I think that's on mine.
And if you want them, you can keep them. So anyway, basically where I started going down the rabbit hole with this was all of a sudden one day I'm like, well, wait a second. This guy's pissed off. Like, seriously, he went from Florida to Calgary. Now, I'm not saying the guy didn't grow up in Canada. Like, obviously like that's the case. But you went from the President's Cup team as almost an MVP to a team that traded away a bunch of pieces. I'm not saying that Calgary's in a rebuild, but they're not as strong as they were before he showed up. He would have been better with Tkachuk than without him. And now we're sitting here going, well, wait a second. What if this guy just sits down and goes like this? I'm not interested. Like, I'll play, but
Eric Lindros?
Like, he could wind up going out there. What if the guy only gives 50% of what he's got? He's just like, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I'm not playing like this. You could have somebody who demands a trade, who's got high trade value, who could tank his own position based on the fact he doesn't want to play.
That would be really, really interesting. Man, we'll know in a couple weeks.
No doubt. I started going down that because I'm like, well, wait a minute. You look at someone like Anaheim. Anaheim crushed it in the offseason. Okay, yeah. Like they did what the Canadians did on the West Coast, though. they signed Strome and Vetrano and a whole bunch of others, and they did a really good job of maneuvering pieces around. And I'm like, okay, so you got a couple of teams over on the West Coast, like Seattle. You have for whatever reason, they have a really bad rep. They don't take care of their people, but the Golden Nuggets, Knights, same thing. We've been picking on them, but they did actually make a lot of good moves. They're not a team that I would want to play for right now, but the 5,000 stadium seating Coyotes. You do have pieces of the puzzle there that they're trying to put together. I mean, I know that you just started calling baseball, but there was a billion years ago, there used to be this team called the Texas Rangers. They used to play in Arlington. They could not compete against the New York Yankees because they could not, in a non-cap friendly environment, they just couldn't compete. The Yankees could go out and buy a team every year. And because you didn't have the attendance, the Texas Rangers couldn't. So that's where the salary cap came in. And if you notice, since the 90s, the Yankees weren't able to buy teams and put it together the way that they did, during that stretch. The same thing's going to happen in the league where the Coyotes are going to have the money and they're going to get it back together at some point. So I'm not saying Huberdeau's going to Coyotes by any stretch of the imagination, but could you friggin' imagine number one draft pick, Phil Kessel with this? All of a sudden you start to put the team together and go, I don't know. I'm just saying the guy's super pissed.
It would be interesting. Other news coming out of Calgary. Calgary switching their AHL affiliates. Now they're going to be with the Calgary Wranglers.
This team doesn't know what it's doing right now. That's kind of my point.
Yeah, they're all over the place. The last couple signings, Jesper Bratt signed 1 year with the Devils, stays there for $5.45. That seems like a lot for Jesper Bratt.
Bernie put it.
Bernie, that's not going to happen.
That's not funny.
Matthews isn't going anywhere.
You may as well bring back Gretzky and Yager.
And then the other big one, Edmonton, Kaler Yamamoto, he signs to stay in Edmonton 2 years, $3.10 million. So those are all the free agent trades that have happened. My God, signings that have happened since we spoke last.
Told you.
Yep.
So in other related news, the Charlestown Chiefs. Sorry, go ahead.
Did you hear the rumor coming out of Chicago? We know everything that's been going on where they've been unloading players, and they actually made some nice signings, but apparently they are now officially accepting trade requests for Patrick Kane. So Patrick Kane, who initially came out and said, hey, I'm okay with this rebuild. I want to see what happens. He's on the market. So who do you think becomes a contender in the Patrick Kane sweepstakes?
This is another one of those hard questions. The question is, what's he carrying for his contracting for how long? I think he's only got 2 years left, if I remember correctly. So it really comes down to who's got the money. As Bernie was saying before, you only have 8 teams that have $8 million or more. So that becomes a distinctive question. Also, what are they going to get in return for him? Is another question.
Yeah. So this is his last year, 22-23.
So this is his last year. So, okay.
At 10-5, and then he's an unrestricted free agent.
So the question is, what's he going to pull? He's at 10-5 now. You got to assume he's going to pull same money. Yeah. Maybe a little bit more, 12 million. So Bernie just dropped 1 year at 10-5. He's going to pull 12 mil, at least 11.5, 12 million. So the question is, where can he go that someone's got $12 million floating around? Now, they could retain part of his, again, you're only talking about 1 year. So you could retain part of the salary. It's not that big a deal, especially since they have the cap room. But what are you going to ask back? You're going to ask for a number 1 draft pick. That's number 1. You're going to be asking for, because if you're rebuilding, they're looking for probably a 1 and a 2. would be my guess. Maybe not in the same year. Maybe it's one for this year, one for the following year. I don't know. You're going to be looking for a playable prospect. I would imagine someone high caliber. Someone that is pretty much the number 2, number 3 overall pick last year. You're going to be looking for something that's ready to come up, ready to start fitting in. The ask is going to be a lot. So where's he going to go? Arizona. No, Seattle, I mean, is a possibility. They have tons of picks.
And I mean, as a basis, look what Florida gave up to Chuck, right?
That's my point.
An NHL number 3 in scorer, a decent defenseman, a prospect, and a first-round draft pick. So you got to figure Patrick Kane is going to be worth a little bit more than that, right? So, and if you're not getting your top 3 in NHL scoring, there's got to be a couple prospects, a couple draft picks, some NHL playable players today.
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Is I'm figuring, I kind of put him on the same deal as the Huberdeau deal, and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna be a blockbuster trade. So let me go ahead, since you did it. There was a rumor that was quashed very quickly this week in Rangerstown. Do you know what it was?
Mark Messier returning.
He's not only coming back, but he said that he would shave his head with a skate blade.
Nice. And play with Esa Tikkanen.
Yes. So the rumor that was quelled very quickly was that Chris Drury was interested in trading Antemi Panarin.
Ooh.
So it has come up. Antemi Panarin laughed at the question. It was pretty much like, that's not happening. Now, that would be a trade because the Rangers were linked to Kane right before the draft. Could you imagine swapping Antemi Panarin? Because that would be a straight up swap. Panarin for Kane. I doubt you might see some draft picks go both ways, but you're not going to see a lot. You're not going to see like a number 1. You might see, I'll give you a 3 for a 2 or a 2 for a 3. You might see a defenseman go in the deal as well, because we have like Niles Lundqvist that could go. We have some decent prospects that could head that way if we were getting something in return. But you're not going to give up a better, in my opinion, Antemi Panarin is one of the tops in the league. You're not going to give up an Antemi Panarin for Kane. I would just do it straight out. Like, here's one, here's the other. The Rangers actually would come out ahead because Panarin's contract's heftier. So, and there's a longer term for Chicago on Panarin's deal. So they would actually come out on the winning side. We would actually have to re-sign him. So there's a lot of negative risk to a 1-year rental contract with Kane, not knowing what he's gonna pull next year.
Yeah, and with Panarin, I mean, he's 11.6. He's got 4 years left on his deal.
2 years until his no trade clause.
So locks him up, gives Chicago a decent player, gets rid of Kane. The upside for Chicago, they get Panarin, they get the superstar for several years, but in their mind, is that enough? When you look at
not for a rebuild,
Panarin, Kane, yeah, that's just it. I don't think that's enough. I think yes, it gets rid of Kane, but they're going to need some draft picks, or they're going to want Panarin and a prospect.
See, and I think that you could probably make that case with the Rangers, who, by the way, we're cap strapped. Okay, could we swap out a prospect that is on the books for a low-ranking defenseman so that we could bring up somebody from AHL for a draft pick? You could see that. So, I mean, there is a little bit of something that makes some sense. Where could the Rangers clear $3-4 million off the books by making this trade? Well, we already know that we save 1.1 right off the bat in salary.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, if we were to trade a ready-made one-way or two-way player who's $1-2 million, Rangers pick up $3-4 million in a trade like this. They pick up a number 2 draft pick, a number 3 draft pick next year. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Is that something you think you send Panarin, someone like Capo Caco, and maybe your Kratzov over? You get,
keep in mind, I was about to say, Kravtsov would be a great person to trade because it would be Panarin and Kravtsov going over there for but you got Kravtsov at like 8.75, so it's not the biggest contract. I would be more interested in seeing like a Zettinger, or what the hell is his name? Who cares? Get rid of one of my 1.2s. Hey, I got an idea. Send Ryan Reeves. But
that's why I thought Capo Caco, he's just signed that $2.1 million deal. Is that a nice sign-in trade possibility?
Capo Caco sucks, and so for me, I'd be good with him going. And as Bernie says, he's got a full no clause or no move clause. He would have to want to go to Chicago. He would have to waive it to go. There's no way he's going to do it. But at the same time, there's no upside for Panarin. He's where he wants to be now. Panarin has been rumored as saying he's a little salty over the fact that they didn't sign Strome and they got rid of Pavel Buchnevich. So those were his top two buddies. Those were the people he played with. They got rid of both of them. So he's rumored as being salty. So you never know what's what. And is it possible? It's possible. Bernie brought up the other team that I thought of, which was Sabres. Sabres are a good fit.
They are a good fit, and the Sabres have done an excellent job over the last 6 months or so rebuilding that team. They're going to be a great team, and if they found a way of adding Kane, man,
so
they're going to be rough.
Let's have a little fun with this. Who did I just sit there and say is pissed off in the league? Could you imagine a Huberdeau swap? Huberdeau Kane?
If he doesn't like going to Calgary, I don't know how much he's going to like going to Chicago.
I don't disagree with that at all. But, at the end of the day, it's like once you get down this road of what can you get when you have a pissed off player, could you bring in a Kane, bring him into Calgary? Does he fit their system? Yeah, he does.
Looking at Buffalo, they have about $19 million in cap space.
There you go.
So they could pick up Kane quite easily. And man, if you send someone like Opozo back, so it's 1 year for 1 year, get Chicago some more cap space, and then potentially send one of their prospects over, one of their younger players, and that might not be such a bad destination.
No, not even a little bit. And that's the funny part is if you had asked me where I thought Kane was going to Kadri was going to go, I thought Kadri was going to head to Sabres.
Buffalo.
I thought that they had the money, and I figured it made a lot of sense for him to go there. There's been a lot of those, and that's what it is. It's one player blockbuster deals. Like you look at Giroux going to Ottawa. There's just not a lot of cap space. That's the problem. Like if you could just go out and spend what you want, he could go anywhere. But you only have 8 teams that really have the money. But then you have to sit there and say, okay, well, who has a superstar that they'd be willing to swap?
Yeah, and Bernie, I love that. Huberdeau plays out his deal. Then Florida gets rid of Bobrovsky and bring back Huberdeau. I would love to see that happen.
There's a term for that I'm not allowed to say in a PC world. But I'll tell you about it offline.
All right.
So when you can make a deal like that, first of all, it very rarely happens. Very rarely that you get your player back. But would he really want to come back to Florida? Florida blindsided him. He's so pissed at Florida, he doesn't know what to do. Like this guy woke up one day and went, "What? Like I got drafted by this team. I've given it everything I've got, and you guys don't even give me the courtesy of taking me out to dinner before
Unless
you did
this
it."
Is a Vince McMahon special, and it's all a work.
I'll tell you what. If I'm the player, I'm salty as hell against Florida, and when I play them, I turn it up about 4 notches. Right, like I'm going for I may not have a hat trick all year, but I'm gonna have 2 against them in the same night.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Here, let's switch gears from little salty and sour to a joke. You want to see some photos of the Arizona Stadium?
I literally can't wait.
So now these are artist renderings. So the first thing you'll notice, turn my phone around here if I can get it in the frame. The first thing you'll notice is their logos at center ice. That's not actually the case.
That can't happen.
We know, and it's been well documented, the owners of the league, aka the city, is going to use the center ice for ad revenue. So it's kind of a nice looking building. It looks very much like a small AHL arena, very much like the Coca-Cola Coliseum here in Toronto.
So I needed to ask this question because we've made fun of it a lot and I've done zero research. So this ought to be really entertaining. They built this stadium, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
The Three Little Pigs.
So would I be out of line saying the fact that they know that this team is not staying there, right? Like,
yeah, well, I think it's kind of built as a multi-purpose hockey facility, so any minor league team could come in and
well, that's
play
kind
here.
of what I'm getting at. Like, they built it for an AHL team, knowing the fact that this was leaving. Like, so there's no way, and nobody on this earth is going to convince me, and I don't care who it is. No one is going to convince me that a professional hockey team built that arena and said, you know what, we're in for the long haul. Like, no. I'm sorry. All you got to do is watch Jurassic World, and you realize that when Verizon presents the Indominus Rex, that there are companies out there that will sponsor almost an entire team. This is not going to be the case next year or in 2 years. There's no way on this earth to have a rebuild in order to have the money to bring in a Huberdeau, to bring in a Kane. You don't have enough AIS. And if you don't have enough AIS, you're not bringing in the names. So if you're going to rebuild and you got the number 1 overall and the number 4 or whatever else we did this, and they brought in and they made some moves, the next move is the actual move to a real city with a real arena where there are hockey fans that will go, you know what? We've been missing sports. And that's why I think they're going to wind up back in Quebec. I mean, the Nordiques, are gone for a reason. Canada is hockey country. There's no way in this world, no way anybody's going to convince me that this team is staying there. You couldn't do it if you tried.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I'd be shocked if in the next couple of years we don't see it leave. But Bettman's all in. He's throwing everything at them. Hey, you'll get the All-Star game. You'll get the draft. You'll get this, that, the other. He's trying everything to get a good, solid deal in place to have this team work out. Part of it is he just doesn't want to admit he was wrong with putting a team there to begin
I don't disagree with that, but also you're going to have a changing of the guards with him anyway. But having said that, the biggest thing that you have to remember is, and for those of you who don't know what AIS is, it's asses and seats. If our cap is dependent upon how much money and how much revenue is made in the league, we're at what, 83 million this year because of COVID. We went up $1 million. On average, we went up 3 or 4 to 5 million, could be 8, depending upon what it is. It's also why we were talking about the fact that that you're literally looking at a revenue system. It's why we were joking about the playoffs going to game 7s, because it was good for revenue. It's good for ad sales. It's good for everything. It's also why it's stupid why they don't run ads during overtime in the playoffs. So, what I would say is this: wherever they may wind up, they're not going to be in Arizona. There's no way. Could they have a good AHL affiliate? Yeah, and it might even be their farm team for all I know. I don't really care either. But there's no way you built a 5,000 person stadium that has no expansion ability whatsoever, and you expect to fill it when the average stadium holds 21,000, and you're going to tell me that you went at 25% and you expect to be competitive? Really? Like, no, there's no way. That's literally the equivalent of me taking a Corvette out on the track and trying to blow out a NASCAR. I'm sorry, it ain't happening.
And they have about 23 million in cap space, so they could have pretty much got anybody.
This is my point, though. Like, what happens if you bring in Oh, by the way, they could bring in Huberdeau and Kane and still have cap room. They could bring in Kadri while they're at it. They could bring in 3 names like this, and it's nothing. So what happens if you put 2 or 3 names in the seats and people want to come now? What happens if you actually built a fan base and you, oh my God, packed it with 5,000 people? What are the ticket prices going to be in order to offset? Are we talking about $1,000 a seat?
Yeah, that's a good point. What are they going to charge for these seats? And I think that's part of what they want to do is really drive the demand, right? Only 5,000 seats. If that isn't sold out every single game, that's going to tell you right now what kind of a problem you have.
It's not going to be sold out. They put Wayne Gretzky on the bench and they couldn't put 15 people in the seat. Like this is a joke of monumental proportion. And it's like, let me just say this. If I live in the area that my taxes went up to pay for this, I fire everyone. Everybody loses my vote. So this is just stupid across the board. Unless the long-term town planners, because the people who built this, they're town planners. They sat there and they said, all right, this team's going to leave in 2 to 3 years. We're going to be able to bring in an AHL team. We will still generate revenue on 5,000 seats. If we generate $10 a ticket, we're going to make our money back.
Yeah.
No one's going to convince me of anything other than that. The arena was built for Arizona State Hockey. Coyotes fell into it stupidly. But that's what I'm talking about. Is you could convince me it was built for a college. You could convince me it was built for AHL, like the East Coast Hockey League. Yeah, okay, I'm down with that. But nobody in this world is ever going to tell me that anybody believes that hockey team is staying there. As you put before, Houston or Kansas City, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Can you imagine those college kids going there, going home, going, oh my God, we're playing college hockey in the same rink as our NHL team? What a strange conversation that is to be happening.
Well, I think it actually goes like this. Can you imagine they suck that bad that I'm playing in the same stadium with them? Okay, they're playing in my stadium, not the other way around.
I got years and years ago, I got to play shinny game at Maple Leaf Gardens, right? It was empty. It was, midnight, but we got to play and it was a blast. Like, oh my God, we're here. Same thing. I got to skate at the new Air Canada Center, now Scotiabank Arena. And you're like, this is amazing. You see all the seats out there. You imagine I sat there, I sat here. You go to the 5,000 seat stadium and it's like, bring a friend. What charity am I skating for?
Dude, the bottom line is in order to get peanuts delivered to you, they use a rope string. They don't even have to come out to you because why? There's 8 rows. This is a joke across the board. And at the end of the day, it's really sad for hockey that you wind up literally, what's up, Jess? It's bad that basically you came in the right time. I was just about to run your commercial. It's bad because in all actuality, let's talk original 6 teams. You cannot tell me that there's an original 6 team that doesn't look at this and go, oh, geez, it's Cousin Eddie showing up with real tomato ketchup. Okay, no.
100 years ago, they weren't even playing in front of 5,000 people.
No. I mean, this bothered, you cannot tell me that you're the Canadians, you're the Leafs, you're the Rangers, you're any one of the original 6, and you go like this. Wait, what? You pay? Hold on a second. I have to go play in front of 5,000 people. Were we bad?
Think about the opportunities though. If you're going in there, you could run a whole promo. Like I used to do some work for the Toronto Argonauts here, the Canadian Football League team. And we ran a program called See You on the Field, where after every game, win or lose, fans could come down on the field, players would come out and sign autographs. Think about it. Bring your skates. When the game is done, lace up, come on for a skate with the players. It's small enough you can do intimate stuff like that.
Dude, it's a hockey league. I'm sitting here going, what you just said, I would Nancy Kerrigan somebody just so that this way I could change the outcome of the season. I used to bitch and moan when Lundqvist would go play with Team Sweden. I'm like, you're going to get some guy, If I'm like the Penguins and we're close in the cup, I go over there with $100,000 in cash and go, "Hey kid, go run him." I want to see him literally. I want to see you put him through the glass as hard as you possibly can hit him. And the same thing. It's like, once you get back to a place where they're a joke, which they're a joke, the league and the team needs to come out and say, okay, we want to bring in a Kane, a Huberdeau, an Antemi Panarin, a whatever, a Giroux. We want to bring these people in. However, players, you need to hear this. We're not going to be here long. Okay. Like, this is the apartment we rent while our house is being built. Okay.
You know what? Bernie put it in. October 30th is the day. I don't know if that game is going to be broadcast here or by you, but we should get together. We should plan a watch along.
They don't have the ability to broadcast on national television. Are you kidding me? Some guy's going to do it off his phone. Like, they're literally, it's going to look like me. The guy's going to sit there with his phone, and he's going to, come on. They don't have broadcasting rights. There's some guy sitting there in the college studio going, "Oh crap! Like me before we went on? What do I push to go on?" Like, they put it on. They're broadcasting football from another state. This is an embarrassment. And but yes, I'm in. By the way, of course I am. Like 100%.
All right. Here's the other fun little news tidbit. Do you know which franchise is officially the oldest, and I mean by average age, the oldest NHL team player-wise? No Googling.
Oh, wait, you're talking about the players on the team.
The players, with all the players
Pittsburgh.
and their average age. You got it. Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I don't even have to think about it.
The oldest NHL team.
I've been picking on them for how many weeks?
They just need to go back to this jersey with that man and come out for a retro season.
He's still playing. I'm telling you, when you go to the Penguins, what they do is they give you adrenochrome, and you just keep playing until the meat just falls off the bone. Like, I've been picking on them for how long about hey, let's give this guy $7 million. Let's give this guy $7 million. Everybody gets $7 million. And it's like,
you get seven.
Dude, it's so bad. But that's why I didn't have to think about it. They're not only the oldest team out there, but when you actually go in on like fan appreciation night, they give out walkers.
The ones with the little seats on it?
Yeah, whoop, whoop, whoop. Except they're made out of hockey sticks that they broke on the ice. Bella said it's actually clever to recycle the hockey sticks. That's awesome. I'm dying.
Oh, that's amazing. Outstanding.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, like, that's what you're working with. And look, I understand they went 13 years in a row into the playoffs. I'll give them that. But it's the same team as 13 years ago. It's like, at some point, you got to change the tires. Like,
Edmonton Oilers also won a whole lot of Stanley Cups in a row. Doesn't mean they're still at it.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky and Mark Messier did go on to play on other teams, people. So just saying, Gretzky retired as a Ranger. So did Messier.
This is interesting. Hold the phone.
16. Thank you, Bernie. I thought it was 13. You lose track after a while. After that many years, they're almost legal, for crying out loud.
You know, we talked about Gatorade pulling the plug and BioSteel coming in. Apparently, Adidas is not going to re-sign their deal to be the jersey supplier of the league when their contract expires in 23-24.
Yeah, it'll be Hanes.
So Adidas pulling the plug. Fruit of the Loom.
Could you imagine the commercials of Fruit of the Loom? They're running around in tighty whities with the shirts on going, "Look, everybody, we're the new sponsor of the NHL."
Little pair of New York Ranger underoos.
I already own them.
But yeah, Adidas is out. So does that mean Nike is going to come back in? I wonder who it's going to be that comes back around.
But doesn't this tell you how piss poor betting, how Bettman is, how bad he is as managing this league? I mean, he can't keep sponsors. He can't get things right. His judgment is always wrong. This is not a guy who deserves. See, Bernie put maybe Under Armour, which was where I was actually going. Thanks, Bernie. You ruined it.
Cool.
I mean, in all actuality, they need to be looking towards the future. We've had CCM, we've had Reebok, we've had Nike, we've had Adidas. Why are we having such a hard time keeping sponsors? Okay, like I think it's stupid. I mean, there's a lot of flaws going on with the way that the NHL is run. I mean, what I can't believe hasn't happened yet, and maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't, that they haven't started doing NASCAR patches on the jerseys like they do over in Russia. I've been waiting for it.
They started with the helmets. We saw that last year with the TikTok and whatnot on the helmets. Drove me nuts. It took a lot to get used to seeing that. It really bothered me. I hope they don't go as far as what they do in Europe. I love the clean jerseys, especially the whites. I really don't want to see, Dick's Sporting Goods on the big, side of somebody's
jersey. They put Dick's Sporting Goods on anything. I'm telling you right now, I have about 45 Dick's jokes that I can't even wait to get going. They don't want people like us commentating with Dick's all over themselves.
No kidding. Tristan, welcome in. That's how to make an entrance. Tristan comes in.
Be like,
the Leafs suck. I love it.
It's like, hey, the Leafs suck. Just kidding. Dicks. What are you talking about? We were talking about dicks. So
it's true. Like the way the sponsorship is going these days, the echelon of sponsors that would come in for jersey sponsors, it could be real interesting.
But that's the point, though. It's like, I literally was watching Jurassic World the other day, and I was laughing because it's like, why don't we just let them name the dinosaur? And it's like, like Verizon Wireless presents the Indominus Rex, and it's like, we really are there. If you think about some of the name of the stadiums, I mean, like, what's one of the stadiums? Balls. I mean, come on. Do you have Dick's with balls and, Dick's Sporting Goods at Ball Arena? Dude, the joke just writes itself. I don't even have to do anything. I mean, it's bad. So
it is bad. Tristan's going, let's go Wings. Tristan, Wings are going to have an unbelievable year this year.
Hey, look,
they really did a fine job.
The Wings are fantastic, especially when you get a little hot sauce, get a little habanero juice on there, and you eat you're good to go.
I'm a little woods. I have to go mild or honey garlic.
All right, so Sam and I haven't discussed this off air, so we're going to do this live, which means this is a disaster in the making. Just figured I'd say this out loud before I did it. Because right now Sam's going, oh, crap, what's he doing?
Yeah.
Well, we're good at this. So let me just put this up on screen because Sam honestly does not believe that I bought these, but I bought these. My wife bought these in Epcot today. These are, as you can clearly see, they are Disney ears. My wife is in Epcot right now. She just bought these ears from the Canada Pavilion in Epcot. Those are hockey sticks that are crossed across the bow like this. And those ears are actually hockey pucks. Okay, so they're on the edges of the puck. It actually has that puck groove to it. There, it says Canada down the side. Those are Canadian ears. Now, why am I telling you guys this? We haven't figured out how we're doing this yet, but we're going to do them as a giveaway. I already bought them. My wife's bringing them home tonight. So pay attention to Sam's IG and my IG, probably, I would say, Friday. We will have a contest put together for his Instagram, my Instagram, to win these. Okay, might be YouTube channels. I don't know, because we didn't talk about this before I just did this. So, we're going to literally give those ears away to anybody who wants them. You know who I'm surprised isn't here right now? Who would be sitting here freaking out? Where's Dallas Hockey Girl?
Dallas, I think she's, I'm not sure, actually. I didn't talk to her today.
She's probably, because right now she should be sitting here going, if she was Ninja, she'd be like, yeah, I want those. So if you have somebody who likes hockey, if you have people that would like that, I found at the hockey pavilion, whoops, at the Canadian Pavilion, there's tons of hockey gear in Epcot. And it's like, I love hockey. There's tons of stuff that we're going to be doing as giveaways on Evenstrength. So here's what it is. We need more people to watch the show. I'm not saying we don't love the 12 of you who are watching, okay, and 6 of them are related to me, but we need to go ahead and we're trying to bring in more fan base. So what we're probably going to do is try and do something that will promote the show, that will help us bring in more people, so that somebody has to watch it. You will have to be watching the show next week in order to win them. That much I can tell you. But we'll see how it kind of goes from there. We want to try and get the show elevated. I will also tell you that Sam and I are working with a realtor friend of mine who has done giveaways in the past. He looks a lot like this. It does not say Coozing. Damn it. I did it again. I picked the wrong thing. He did a cruise for our 3,000 giveaway over on Florida Park Explorers. I am working with Chris to do a giveaway for Evenstrength as well. So if I were you guys, I would make sure that you pay attention, stay tuned, because we're going to do some crazy things on both of our channels and also on the show. So to get things kicked off. Before we get into who's doing what, where, when, and why, I want to play this because we love Jesse to death. Sam made an original video. I remade something simply because I wanted to add something, but it's Sam's overlay. So let's go ahead and play this for Jesse.
For all your weather needs, look to Weather or Not with Jesse on Instagram. Daily weather reports, watches, warnings, storm photos, and more. Jesse covers them all. If you would like a weather report for your area, contact Jesse today on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email.
If we have a mod floating around that's got Jesse's links, if you guys could throw that in. Jesse's here, so Jesse's got it. Perfect. She's in our chat, everybody. Anybody who needs anything from Jesse, if you want to know anything about weather or anything that has to do with what she's doing, we're also going to be working with her on some other things about getting some merch done, so that this way you guys can also get some stuff to help support her, because she does it all for free. So we need to do things that help the community. Jesse is a phenomenal, phenomenal friend. She's also one of our top mods. We appreciate everything that you do, Jesse. Thank you so much for all that you do.
Yeah, and I just want to add on that. Jesse does so much for so many people. And so make sure you go over, support her, hit the Instagram, check her out. You know, all kinds of weather alerts. But not only that, some of the most incredible photos I've seen on her Instagram of storm fronts rolling in and whatnot. So make sure you go check her on Instagram. She does so much for everyone else. Let's pay it forward and
just
and
hit the like button. Follow her. I mean, it costs you $0 to hit follow. Like, seriously. She's at 100 on IG right now, everybody. Just go ahead and hit it. Like, and if you don't, I'm coming for you. Just know that.
You're going to get Tanya Harding.
Oh, I'm going to bear shark you. So, I can't even say it with a straight face. So, but all seriousness, everybody, seriously, we appreciate what our mods do. Jesse does, Jesse, just so that you guys know, when she's not modding, or even when she is modding, she had to break away tonight because there were storms. She keeps people safe. She's the person who lets you know a tornado is going to hit your house and gives you 5 minutes of warning. So if I were you, I would support her. I'm just saying, like, you never know when she's going to save your butt. Okay, so go ahead and support her. She'll give you local updates around you guys. Go ahead and hit that. So wait a minute, who can sing the Canadian national anthem? Actually, I think both Sam and I both can. I'm an honorary Canadian.
And you probably wouldn't want either of us to sing it.
I'd be happy to. I could actually probably sing it backwards. So I'm tracking a Disney content creator who's traveling right now. And that's the thing is like Jesse is keeping somebody safe as we speak. And by the way, again, she does it for free. All you got to do, go hit the follow button. Beep. And by the way, I talk to Jesse every day. I'm watching you people. So anyway, we're going to be giving away ears. We're going to be giving away trips. We're going to be doing a whole bunch of fun stuff between the channels. Obviously, we're a partner channel. We broadcast on 2 different channels on the same time for the show. Why? Because it is important for Sam's folks to also see crazy American people. And it's important for Americans to actually see that the Canadians, they don't just drink maple syrup on TV. All of these things are really Yeah, I can't.
You know what? You bring up the maple syrup.
I came that close.
Perfect right now. Did you know? You won't know. I was going to Tim Hortons this morning, and all my Canadians will get this. I was going to Tim Hortons, and I pull up in the drive-thru, and I always loved their breakfast sandwich. You know, it comes with the bacon, eggs, cheese on an English muffin. That's how I get it. Now, they have the maple syrup breakfast sandwich. So you get the cheese, the egg, the bacon, and they cover it with Canadian maple syrup. I was not daring enough to try it, but I saw that and I almost hit the curb.
McDonald's a decade ago used to do the McGriddle. And what it should have said was, it should have come with a thing that said, would you like angioplasty with it? As soon as you bite into it, and I mean as soon as you bite into it, like it's just pouring out of your face, it looks like your face exploded. That's number one. Number two, by the time you're done eating it, you're covered. And I mean, hands are covered, the whole thing. It was atrocious. It was a train wreck and a half. Having said that, I have been known to take 2 waffles, put bacon and eggs in between it. I'm not going to tell you it's never happened. Just saying.
That's okay. Hey, Coach, what's going on? Christina G, welcome in.
Sorry you guys walked into this at the end.
Tristan bringing up the dad dance. Tristan, that's a tradition. So for those that don't know, when we do our sports streams and we hit 100 likes, we break out the dad dance. And all I can do is say, as a dad, when you're at a party and you like to embarrass your little ones, it's the dance we all do. So it's our 100 like dance during our sports streams.
Which is, you have to do things that embarrass your kids. If you don't, it's just not good parenting. So you have to do it. I mean, it's a rite of passage. They have to understand that this way, when they're adults and their kids do something and they get to go, oh yeah. Now at 280 pounds, which is probably light for me today, I get to do the fat guy dad dance, which is a little different. And by the way, it requires no shirt.
Oh dear Lord. Nice. Bernie, is that a true story? Hear about the guy that was fined $1,800 in Australia? He had 3 McMuffins in their bag and forgot bringing it to the U.S.
Well, that's because they turned into hockey pucks.
God.
3 Egg McMuffins. First of all, anybody who's ever had an Egg McMuffin knows 2 things. Number one, if you don't eat it in the first 5 minutes, you're done. You're breaking teeth. Number 2, if you're going to wait, you have to refrigerate it, and then you have to put it in the microwave for 1 minute and 25 seconds, okay, to get it back to pliable. All right, because if not, you're breaking teeth. Just saying. So Bernie says it's true. I believe him.
If you microwave Jell-O, does it go back to a liquid state?
Now I'm going to go find out. It turns into maple syrup.
The only way I know how to turn Jell-O back to liquid is to put it in your mouth and go.
Or use Everclear. I did not say that. Damn it. So anyway, before we go don't try that, Sam. Don't worry, Dina, I'll be the guinea pig here. My wife knows I do all kinds of stupid stuff. I'm like Peter Griffin. I go out, I'm supposed to get bananas. I come home with 23 puppies. So
hey, Lois.
see, it's just the way that things roll in my house. My wife knows not. It's also why, you may or may not know, but I opened up another channel called the Bear Shark TV. It's for all things that are like Peter Griffin. And it's going to start next week, where basically it's about grind my gears because, yeah. Wow. So
that was a tangent. Hey, did you know the Sharks are going to retire Patrick Marleau's jersey on February 25th?
Did you know that the Bear Shark? Never mind. No, I didn't know that. Did you know that the Sharks signed David Quinn?
No, I didn't.
We didn't talk about that. He became the head coach of the Sharks.
That's awesome.
Former Rangers head coach became the coach at San Jose. Go Preds. CeeLo in the house.
CeeLo, what's up? Here, let's ask a question before, because I know we were going to wrap up moments ago before we decided to start talking about Jell-O and McMuffins and maple syrup.
Could you imagine a Jell-O McMuffin? Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
It's a whole new level. Everybody here likes retro stuff. Tell me your favorite retro logo. Here's some to choose from. Doesn't have to be on this list.
I like the clear
green
one.
screen is making it difficult. The clear one just says other. But we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Michigan Wolverines, the Vancouver Grizzlies, the old Pistons logo, the LA Sparks, the Houston Oilers, the San Antonio Spurs, University of Miami, Montreal Expos, Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, the old WNBA logo, or other. Do you have a favorite logo? Mine actually isn't on this list.
I don't have a favorite logo out of that, but if I had to pick one just because I'm not going to be difficult, I will take the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Mighty Ducks is a nice one. For me, it's the Hartford Whale. They're not on this list. I love the old Whalers logo or that really nasty orange Vancouver Canucks logo.
The problem is you have so many throwbacks nowadays where it's like there were other logos, other teams, other everythings. But to be fair on your list, I'd pick the Mighty Ducks just because it had that Disney flair to it. And as a Disney creator, I happen to love all things Disney, so I'll take it.
Yeah, it's a good one. I had towards the end of school, we were picking up the boys from school, and one of the kids came out wearing an old Montreal Expos hat. And a kid came over and said hello, and I kind of said, dude, I love that hat. To see a kid wearing a Montreal Expos hat today, it was awesome.
Yeah, and the funny thing is he made you feel really old. He goes, yeah, my great-grandfather gave this to my dad who passed it down. And you're like, crap.
Not like, again.
Are you kidding me? I saw somebody wearing a Keith Hernandez jersey the other day, and I was like, just kick me. Like, seriously, just kick me. 86 Mets, you're just hurting me now on purpose. Like, that's just not funny. But, yeah, I mean, when it comes back to throwbacks, I love throwbacks. I always have. I think that they bring a lot of nostalgia back to the game. I like when they do things like this. But to ask me to, like, the only thing that they should do, though, in all actuality, they should keep it league oriented, because you gave me like 8 different kinds of like, where was the soccer jersey? Like, come on, you can't tell me there's not a Canadian curling jersey tucked away somewhere that someone's like, yeah, here you go. So, but there's been a lot of great things out there. A lot of teams have kept with their history over the years, but it's half the fun of watching some of these throwbacks. I mean, think about Pittsburgh. Wow, is their crap ugly. Like, they've had some hideous jerseys and some hideous things that are just like, that's just wrong. The old New York Jets stuff, which was navy blue and gold. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible.
What about the old LA Kings, that yellow?
Oh,
purple?
God, yeah. Oh, I almost just threw up in my mouth. That was gross. That's the thing, though, is like, no. There's too many of them. And it's like, now, however, you have some really cool, like, alternative jerseys. One of my favorites would be Tampa Bay with the black. Mm-hmm. Love that, where it's like bolts across the front. Like, that was cool. And I like a lot of the black on blacks when they do them. I think they're super cool. Yeah. I would love to see the Rangers do it.
I will say, and I know we made a lot of fun of the Justin Bieber Maple Leaf jersey this year. Forget about the reversible inside with the yellow. But that black on blue they did was stunning. Stunning.
Yeah, the baby blues, which is what the Pens were. Oh, it was so bad. But
CeeLo, I have the Nashville Predator, the third jersey, the blue with the Predator kind of mouth on it, as a Steve Sullivan jersey. Oh, I love it. It's awesome.
But could you imagine, like, think about teams today, like original 6 teams. Could you imagine the Detroit Red Wings coming out in all black with just the Red Wing across the front? And they have black pants on, black everything, just the Rangers, what that would look like, where they come out and just the bands are in blue and it says Rangers across it, and then like with the red socks, like that'd be, I would love it. I would love to see us do some more of those type of events, especially for like the outdoor games where they keep going throwback and retro. I'd rather see them go futuristic, like come out in like shiny metal suits and look like gladiators. Like that'd be great.
Oh, like the LA Kings that wore those silver helmets that reflected the light, blinding the opponent.
That was so awesome. But how great would it be if they came out and they were like in like suits of armor? It would be great. Jousting should come back.
I was expecting to see Arnold Schwarzenegger from Running Man running through the
Right?
arena.
That's why it's going to be. It'll be Under Armour's. It will be the next jersey sponsor. So,
Yeah.
but you know,
Tristan, you said semi-pro. I thought you at first when I read it, I was thinking Will Ferrell in semi-pro, the Tropics. Those were some sweet unis.
yeah, they were unbelievable. My wife just played the Bear Shark commercial TV. That is so funny. I can't even tell you on how many levels. I just want to laugh right now. Like I so want to laugh.
Yeah. FD Truckee, what's up? Yeah, the Nordique stuff was sweet.
Nordiques, I love the Nordiques. That was a great looking uniform. I mean, there was a lot of them. I mean, I will give Monorail Forever Steve credit for something. I had never really given a second thought to this, but do you remember the original logo of the Colorado Avalanche, where it had the big X in it?
I don't think I do.
When we get off the air, Google it. You're going to freak out. Hang on a second. I'm like, why? We're still on the air now. Colorado. You can chat for a second. I'll find this.
All right. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about retro logos, and it's funny, there's so many different generations of logos. If you go back to some of the original six, like the old Toronto Arenas or the Toronto St. Pat's teams, so many cool things. Even if you go back, the old LA Kings logo on the Gretzky years, where it was like the Chevy logo almost, with the black and silver, was a sweet jersey. The old Canucks logo too, yeah, Coach, was awesome. And it's too bad that jerseys are so bloody expensive, because some of them are so nice, and it would be so great just to have a collection of these things. And even forget about NHL jerseys, but if you go international, some of, especially Team Canada over the years, they've had some unbelievable, in US as well. Some of the international jerseys over the years have been so sweet. It's too bad. The Hockey Hall of Fame does a nice job, showing a lot of the different logos and whatnot. And they have a great goalie helmet exhibit. But it would be sweet if they did a kind of a jersey exhibit and just had, jerseys over the years of all the different franchises and whatnot. It'd be very cool.
All right. Come on. You can do this.
Coach, North Stars. I totally forgot about the old Minnesota North Stars stuff. That big N was
yeah.
So nice.
All right, so I found this. Let's bring this up now.
Ride the Teacups, what's going on? Welcome in.
Teacups, what's happening, buddy? All right, so let's flop this around for a second. Let's bring us down here. Nope.
Drury for the Padres hit a grand slam, and his first time up to bat with the Padres since being traded. Wow. That's a way to kick it off with your new team.
Right.
The Atlanta Flames, yes, FD. They were awesome too.
So it's called the Rocky Mountain Extreme instead of the Avalanche. That is the original jersey. I'm going to give this the recognition it deserves. There you go. So
that is very cool.
So it was the Rocky Mountain Extreme. They had their secondary was the bottom one. Then you had like the top one, which was the X with the mountains in the background. Then you had Rocky Mountain with the X. That's the RM. Then you have the player. Now, the original owner of the team was very involved with the extreme sports. That's where this came from. And I have to thank Monorail Forever Steve, because he turned me on to this before one of the Avalanche series. So how cool is that logo, though? And this brought up,
really cool.
If you remember when we were talking originally about the, like who owns the name for the Nordiques and, the move and everything else. That was the original logo that I was talking about when we were talking about, when I said, well, there was another name for the team. Well, there's the logo. How cool would it be to see them go to that, or a team to go to something like that? Like, that's a cool logo that never made its way into the sport.
Yeah.
So it would be cool. There's no doubt. There's tons of stuff like that. And it's like,
yeah. And it's funny, CeeLo, you go to He Hate Me, and by the way, I have one of those jerseys. I'll have to wear it one day and show you.
That's fine.
But I was thinking when I was looking at that, I think in the XFL, wasn't the LA team the LA Extreme? and their logo was very similar. How that said Extreme, very similar. So I wonder if that was a little bit of a tribute, a little callback there for the LA Extreme.
Well, it's funny because if you watch The Last Boy Scout, it was the LA Stallions.
Okay, great movie. Love The Last Boy Scout.
Just saying. If we're gonna start throwing out things like that, because the XFL was in fact a fictitious football league. So, but that's the thing is there's so much of the history in the leagues and the stuff and the things that never came, or the things that they came out of. It's just amazing to me, like like the history of everything. As you were talking about, like 100 years ago, they didn't play in front of 5,000 people. They played in front of more. I can't believe that in 4 years from now, the Rangers are going to celebrate their 100th year. Like, it's crazy. So there's so much to this, and it's so much fun. And that's why when we talk hockey and we joke around as much as we do, we appreciate you guys being here, because we all love hockey. We all love what we're doing. It's good times. It's just crazy, the stuff we get away with. The Washington Capitals had an eagle, which was cool. I remember the Washington Capital eagle. I also remember the half stars, the half moon stars. That's a Capitals through the middle. That was when Kelly used to play. So
you know what we should do, because this is awesome. We should do, whether it's for next week or the week after, we should focus an episode of Even Strength. We'll do a quick update on what's going on around the league, but we should do a little review of some of the best and worst jerseys that we've seen come through the league. So
let me ask you a question. Are we going to exclude our team? Because I'm picking a Ranger jersey is the best, right? Like, doesn't matter what year. I don't care. Statue of Liberty wins. Like, this is one of the coolest jerseys ever made.
Yeah, we'll exclude our two teams, and we'll kind of take a look at what it is, and we'll involve the chat. What we'll do is we could set up a little bracket, and we could go through it, and the chat, you guys will tell us your picks, and we'll make our picks, and we'll see who becomes the Even Strength champion of the best and worst.
All right, so you got Junior starting when?
We got Junior starting. Oh man, let me double check.
You're like the 10th?
It's something like that. Yeah, it's
you're like next week.
10th. Coming up real soon. So
I'll have to design a thumbnail. I'm going to design a thumbnail for our best worst jersey, and then guys, seriously, guys, girls, anybody in between, whatever you're doing, stop, listen. We're doing giveaways. You guys know, if Jonathan were in here, Jonathan would tell you I'm the Oprah of giveaways on YouTube. I give more crap away than anybody, anywhere, at any time, and I love doing it. Why? Because everything we do for you guys. Sam and I could sit here. By the way, we were having a conversation backstage. That's why we were 2 minutes late, because we were enthralled in a conversation and we forgot that we had to be on the show. Okay, just going to tell you the truth. And then Dave was broken and Dave couldn't get the show on. So all seriousness, though, we do this for you guys. It's so that we can have fun. But one of the ways I like to give back is I love doing giveaways. Please make sure that you're paying attention on both of our YouTube channels, on our community posts, on our IGs. Pay attention to those things over the next couple of days. We're going to be posting some stuff about giving away. Let me show it just in case you weren't here a few minutes ago. And if you weren't, I don't know why you weren't. We're giving away those ears. Those are 2 hockey pucks, 2 sticks, a bow. They came directly out of the Epcot Pavilion in Walt Disney World. My wife already bought them. They're on their way home as we speak. We are giving those away. Those are $30 ears we're going to be giving away to you guys from the Canadian Pavilion. So please make sure you guys jump in for that. I can almost guarantee you that won't be it. Why? I'm incapable of giving away one thing. Like, it's just not in my DNA. The second thing is I'm already dealing with a travel agent that did our 3,000 giveaway, which was a cruise, airfare, and hotel. Yes, you heard that right. For 3,000 subscriber giveaway, I gave away a cruise, hotel, and airfare. Sam and I have partnered up to do a similar giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway right here on this show for both channels. You're going to have to interact with both of us. So, guys, girls, let's have some fun. Let's talk some hockey. Let's talk some trash. Let's have a great time. But make sure that you're tuning into both channels. This is the only sports channel for FPE now. Sam didn't have to move anything around. He didn't have to do anything. I'm on like my 9th channel. So just hang out here. This is the one you want to be on. Come subscribe over here. It's FPEN Sports. Used to be the FPE Network. We've changed things around a little bit. You'll notice that I have quite a bit more subscribers than I used to on sports. It's not because of anything other than I just switched channels. So come out, hang out, enjoy. You've got juniors starting on what day?
Yes, we have the juniors starting on the 10th, right? It goes the 10th, the 11th, the 13th, and the 15th are the first 4 round-robin games. But before that, coming up this Saturday night, August 6th, it's our 1-year stream anniversary. And we're going to be doing the Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. So again, our 1-year stream anniversary, you want to come hang out and celebrate all night long while we will watch some baseball.
So Dallas just showed up, so let's show her the ears. Dallas, we're giving away these ears on this show. Those are Mickey Mouse ears. Came right out of the, as CeeLo put, the Samwelb Canadian Pavilion. Those are 2 hockey pucks, 2 sticks. Bo says Canada down the side. My wife is on her way home with them as we speak. We're going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to have a lot of fun. Go get them. Go get them, everybody. They're in Sam's chat. Get them, mods. Get them. Boop, 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 boop. So anyway, you got that going on. Here on this channel, we're going to be doing on FPN Sports, we're going to start doing preseason football. It's kicking off probably next week. I haven't decided what games I'm doing because I have a conflict on the first Giant game. So how about this, Sam? You're going to love this. The first New York Giant game, which is against the Patriots, is at 7 o'clock on Thursday, the 11th. Well, at 9 o'clock on FPE, on the original Florida Park Explorers channel, I'm interviewing Dominic Lewis, who is the composer of the new movie Bullet Train, of Monsters at Work, the Kingsman movie, The Man in the High Castle. This man is a superstar among superstars. He's going to be on FPE live at 9 o'clock. He's going to be on Florida Park Explorers channel. We're going to be talking to him about all things that have to do with music. You're going to have to do it. And by the way, if you think we're 2 clowns, Dominic is hilarious. He literally sang C is for cookie while having cookies fall out of his mouth. We're going to have a good time. It's going to be a lot of fun. But here on FPEN, we will be doing sports, and more sports. So football is going to be kicking off every Sunday. We have Fantasy League coming. I know Sam and I are also going to be talking about Hockey Fantasy League. That will be to help benefit Give Kids the World. More details coming on that soon. We're going to get that started. Obviously, we can't start until the season starts, so we do have time. But hockey here, football here. Sam's going to be doing anything that has the word Toronto in it.
We might even get some basketball in. We've had a lot of requests for Toronto Raptors.
Told you. If it says
you
Toronto,
never know what could show up.
If it says Toronto or wrestling, check it out on Sam's channel. So that's where you want to go for those things. So for anybody who's tuning in, this one started off a little weird. You're going to have a good laugh if you go back. If you are on Team Replay, do us a favor. One of the things that really helps the algorithm on both of our channels, if you guys don't mind, when the video ends in about, I don't know, a minute and a half, whenever we get done or whenever Dave stops ranting, comment on both videos. Let us know what team is your favorite team. Commenting is the best way to have the algorithm engaged here on YouTube. It will share it out. It will tell people blah, 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 blah. No, I'm just kidding. It's the best way for the algorithm to engage. Anthony, how are you, buddy? I saw you at the zoo today. You looked like you were having a blast.
What's up, Anthony? Hey, Sean. What's going on?
So please comment after the video is over. Go and take 2 seconds. Just put in, I'm a so-and-so fan, or I root for everything Boston. I root for everything New York. I root for everything.
Well, I tell you what, Dave, let's have them go one step further. Since we're going to plan Jersey Mania coming up, why don't you go on and comment? Tell us what your favorite retro jerseys are, and if they have enough votes, they may crack the top and get into our jersey bracket.
There we go. So Sam coming up with the on-the-fly answer to how we do the commenting. Drop a comment as soon as we're off. If you drop it in here, it doesn't count. So you got to drop it in the comments after we go off the air. Let us know what you think your favorite retro jersey is. And we'll go from there. And this way we'll tally up the votes. We'll come on next week, and those beers will be mine. And we'll have some fun with it. So we're going to be growing the channels. We're going to be growing the show. We're going to start making it out there so that everybody knows that this is the place to go. I'm going to say for hockey news, but that's just not true. Sam knows what he's doing.
Your Arizona hockey news.
For your Arizona iced tea. But all seriousness, anything Toronto-based, anything wrestling-based, please go over. Support Samwelb with what he does. For everything that is New York Rangers, New York Giants, you're looking at it. Bear Shark's going to take care of it right here on FPEN. For everything weather-related, do I even have to tell you to go see Jesse? I already bossed you around a little bit. But in case you didn't know, this is what we want you to do. It didn't show up. This is just not good programming. Like, this just isn't good programming, Dave.
Needs. Look to Whether or Not with Jesse on Instagram. Daily weather reports, watches, warnings, storm photos, and more. Jesse covers them all. If you would like a weather report for your area, contact Jesse today on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or email.
So get over there today. Support somebody who supports this community. Anything else, Sam? Or do you think we pretty much blew this one up?
Yeah, I think we knocked it out of the water, butchered it, and
wow.
It's been a lot of fun as always. So much coming up, man. Training camp, we're 70 days away, maybe 69, in and around that range. Hockey's coming. Hockey's coming. So as Dave said, fantasy hockey's coming up. There's so much news coming up. Continuing to follow Jesse is always coming up, so hit that follow. And we're going to be here week after week bringing it to you, and I can't wait. I'm so excited for Jersey Mania. What you going to do, brother?
What you going to do when they come for you? Woo! Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Step into a Slim Jim.
This guy right here, you need to go support him. Go check out his channel. These people over here, you might recognize them because one of the guys is on screen right now. Go over, check out our parent channel, Florida Park Explorers. We're in the parks 5 to 6 days a week. My wife just finished up at Epcot. We are on Evenstrength every Wednesday at 9 o'clock, new time. We also have a new, there it is. We have a new logo, what do they call these things? Thumbnails. That's what they're called. So make sure that you guys are supporting, hitting the likes, hitting the subscribe buttons for both channels. Support us, support Sam, do your part, hang out, have fun. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Put your right foot. Anyway. You ready to get out of here?
I was shaking it all about. Yeah,
well,
I'm good.
You keep shaking it because you're not going to believe this, but I can't find the closing. There it is. I'm going to have to read that.
No, Zelo, I didn't see it, but I want to.
What's that?
Ric Flair's official last match at 73 years of age.
Christina G, we really appreciate that. We appreciate everything you guys do, more than you guys possibly know. Look, it's the off season. We're goofing off a lot. Once things get a little bit closer and they start to tighten up a little bit, I promise you Sam will whip me into shape. Or not. With that, I am the Bear Shark, the great and powerful Oz. He is the natural of Toronto. And if you're not careful, I don't know what'll happen. He'll probably bring Tim Hortons and a jelly donut. So
you're going to get two-bitted.
He's going to Huberdo you.
That's what we call a throwback.
We will see you guys a week from today. New time, new bat channel right here, 9 o'clock. Even strength on Samwelb12 and FPEN Sports.